Hey guys, welcome back to Rusty Guns. So today's video is going to be a long review on the Mossberg 500 Cruiser. If you've ever watched any of my videos or you watched any of my future videos, you will probably see this gun brought out numerous times. One of the reasons I like using the gun is, one, it's just really fun to shoot, but it's really versatile. And so we're going to go over all of those things. I'll tell you what I like about it and kind of what I use it for. Now, I was kind of partial to the old Cruiser model because, being a former police officer, was just kind of the thing. And, that's just kind of really menacing to have on the front end of your barrel, That is a breech end. It's for breaching door locks, things like that. That's what that's for. But anyway, so you first buy this gun, it will be typically all black. The grip and the fore-end part of the pump here will be black. These are OD green simply because I like OD green. It will also not have this top rail on it. I put that on there in case I wanted to put a laser or a red dot or something on it. But that's the way it'll come. It will be your basic standard black. Now also you can get a in like this for your gun. It will simply works like this. You have your grip and you have your butt stock in. You can have spaces for more rounds. I simply push the button and flip it up like this, and it would lock in like that over the gun. So it would be like that. So it's an option that you want, so you could still have the pistol grip part of it, but if ever you needed, you could go to a butt stock in. So. Now, one of the reasons I like using this gun is because it's my bump in the night gun. That's what I call it. It's because it's the gun I grab if there's a bump in the night. And I use birdshot as a home defense round because I believe that's probably the best round you can have, especially if you have family members in your home. If you live by yourself or something, then you can use all different kinds of rounds. But if you have other family members in your home, I believe birdshot's the best round you can use. And I'm going to put a link to the video I did on the birdshot as a home defense round in the description so you guys can take a look at that and see just what I'm talking about. Now, this Cruiser model has an 18.5-inch barrel. It is chambered for 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. So all your basic standard 12 gauge shells will work just fine in this. Pump action shotguns is being for the home defense. One of the things that they have that people like to, I guess call the pucker factor, is that sound. Many people think, by just having that sound will let an intruder know, hey, something's coming for you, and they'll typically run off. Other people don't like that because they think that, well, you're kind of giving away that, you have a gun in your position or whatever. I like that sound for the fact that if you have other family members in your home, maybe you have teenagers, maybe they went out and they came in late and you didn't expect them as late as they came in, that lets them know, oh crap, dad or mom just grabbed a shotgun, and they're going to make noise and say, hey, it's me or whatever. So it's good for that aspect too. But also, when you're thinking if it's an intruder, well, you are kind of letting an intruder know that you have a gun and that you are ready for a gunfight, should there be one. So it has its pros and cons depending on what side you want to be on. I prefer that sound because, as I said, family members in the home, I want them to know I have the gun out and that I'm ready. The same way for an intruder, I want the intruder to know, hey, I've got a gun too. If you have one, I've got one, and we can have a gunfight. So shooting this. Is, depending on the kinds of shells you put in this gun, you're going to want to be careful about how you shoot it. If you were to take the gun and you were to put, let's say, slugs in this gun, I do not recommend that you hold the gun up like this, especially if you have this pistol grip. Do not hold it up like this and try to shoot it with a slug in it, because typically if you don't have a good grip on this, you're going to get popped right in the face. Okay, so I don't recommend shooting slugs out of this while holding the gun up like this. Okay, hold it down below your face, you know, at all possible, and just point and shoot. Now, if you have the butt stock end on it, then you know, yeah, you're fine. Go ahead, hold it up like you're supposed to. But like this, either make sure you have a really good solid grip on this gun, or just don't shoot it like this. Okay. Shooting birdshot and double aught buck, I've shot up high like this and fired. Haven't had never problems or whatever, because they have much less recoil in them than a slug does. So now let's go ahead and take this gun over to the workbench and we'll break it down. We'll show you all the parts to it, how it's put together, and kind of differences between Mossberg and the your 870s and things like that. So let's go to the bench. Alright, so we're here at the workbench. To break this gun down, you're basically only going to need an Allen wrench and a 5/32 punch. You may need a brass hammer or maybe a mallet, wood mallet or rubber mallet, to drive out the one pin. If it's a brand new gun, the pin might be a little tight, but otherwise you can typically just use the back of your hand and hit it. But anyway, so let's go ahead and break this down. Typically make sure, of course, that the weapon is clear, which I already know it is. And then we're going to remove this front cap right here. So the first thing we're going to do is take off the barrel. Just twist that off. Give the barrel a little twist and a pull, and it'll come right off. Okay, and then the next thing I typically do is I will remove the pistol grip. So, spin it around. Now, I always like using these large, long Allen wrenches for any gun work. You can use smaller ones. I just like the bigger ones because they're just easier to use, I think. So take that off. Give that a little pull. The pistol grip will come off. And then we can pull out the trigger assembly. To do that, we're going to drive out this bottom rear pin that will be right down by the serial numbers. And for that, we're going to use our handy dandy punch. And we'll just give it a good tap. Push the pin out. There we go. And just pull out the trigger assembly. Okay, now inside there, oh, that one already fell. There are these two rails. Okay, they sit in the channel that is just inside here, like so, and they just sit in there. Now, in a lot of shotguns, like your Remingtons or whatever, they will be. Let me see if I can zoom that in a little bit for you. Your Remingtons or whatever, they will be kind of almost pinned in place. They typically take a punch and they hit it right next to the edge of the metal and they kind of bind it to the next piece. With the Mossbergs, they're not like that. They just sit in there, and it's pressure that's used to hold them in place. So all you typically have to do is give the gun a tap like that, and the two will fall out. Now, one of them has a little kind of nub on one side, the other one does not. And that's because on one side of the gun there is a small hole right here. So the one with the nub fits on that side of the gun. That way you can't confuse the two and get one in the wrong side. So we've pulled those out. Now we're going to bring the pump handle back. Make sure I can let me see if I can get you guys some better light so you can see. Alright. Now I got you some better light, we can see what we're doing. So basically we were like that. We bring it back. And if you can see right here, there's a couple notches. So that's about where you want to bring it back to. And you can pull out this bottom plate. Set that off the side, and once you do that, just go ahead and pull the pump handle all the way off. like so. And then to get the bolt out, simply just take your finger, push it forward all the way out the other end. And now you've completely broken the gun down. Let me zoom back out for you. So now the gun's all the way broken back down. That's basically it. That's a good cleaning field strip, whatever you want to call it. That's what you're going to do. One of the difference is in this, on your 870s and things like that, both the bolt and the carrier for the bolt ride on top of these rails on the pump handle. As you see on the Mossberg, they ride like this. One on top, it rides like that. So the handle actually hooks onto these notches right here. So that's kind of one of the main differences as far as that part of it goes. Putting it back together is actually just as easy as you took it apart. It's not that big of a difference. We're going to slide our bolt back in. Probably the hardest thing to do is to get the bolt and the carrier to kind of line back up. Because you want to make sure it lines up and it hooks onto the charging handle like that. So that's kind of the thing. Make it safe. And then once you get it pushed down with your thumb, and then push everything forward. Okay, that's probably about the most difficult thing to put back on, honestly. After that, what I'll do is I'll put these rails back in. So remember, the one with the hole is on this side. Click it. One for the other side. These curved ends, the curve always faces like this in the gun. Put that back in. I'll hold the top one up. So we'll hold those in place as we put the trigger assembly back in. Once that goes back in, reinsert the pin. Like so. We can then put our pistol grip back on. And then we're going to put the barrel back on. Now when you put the barrel on, you'll notice that it doesn't typically seat all the way like this. What you do is just simply release the pressure on the pump handle, and then it'll allow the barrel, because the bolt's in the way is why the barrel doesn't want to seat all the way. So just release the pressure on the pump handle and then let the barrel get seated all the way. Tighten it back down. Now we're tightened. And there you go. Just that simple. So there you go, the Mossberg 500 Cruiser. You know, it's a great gun. I love using this gun. Like I said, I've used it in numerous of my videos. You guys have probably seen it in a lot of my videos. I really like the gun. It's really versatile. The other good thing about this being a bump in the night gun is that because it's so short, you are able to move in hallways and doorways much easier than if you were using just a standard shotgun, like a hunting shotgun or something like that as your home defense gun. This being much shorter, much more compact, makes it a lot easier. And the fact that you can use that good birdshot as your home defense round, I mean, I think it's probably one of the best choices you can make as far as a bump in the night gun goes. But that's my opinion. Everybody's going to have theirs. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, and remember, there's no such thing as a rusty old gun.